Good morning to all. In this session, I am going to discuss and analyze Introduction on Liberty. It was written by J.S. Mill. In this essay, J.S. Mill will have certain objectives. So students will also able to understand the important objectives of this essay. The first one is to enable students to recognize J.S. Mill as a great philosopher, to enable students to comprehend the struggle between liberty and authority, to make the students to recall the patriots who set limits to the power which the rulers should be suffered to exercise over community. Let us know a brief information about J.S. Mill. John Stuart Mill was an English philosopher and economist. He wrote one of his most famous essays on liberty in 1859. Mill raised as a strict utilitarian. At the 21, he began to question some of his beliefs. He later struggled with his sense that utilitarianism was too unemotional and that it failed to capture or understand the higher pleasures. His other works are Considerations on Representative Government, on the Subjection of Women, and the Principles of Political Economy. Let us know the meaning of terms. At first, liberty. It is the protection against the tyranny of the political rulers. Patriots who set limits to the power which the ruler should be suffered in his exercising of power over the community, and this limitation was what they meant by liberty. The third one is Mill defines liberty as the nature and limits of the power of which can be legitimately exercised by society over the individual. Mill argues that society can only exert authority over behavior that harms other people. Anything else is an abrogation of individual freedom. Another important term is tyranny of the majority. This is the concept that in a democratic state, the majority of people can impose its will on a minority. Mill believes this behavior is tyrannical when it violates a claim that the minority has as a member of society. In this essay, there are the important points that we are going to discuss. The prime aim of this essay is civil or social liberty, nature and limits of the power which can be legitimately exercised by society over the individual. The struggle between liberty and authority is the most conspicuous feature in the portions of history. The struggle was exercised in Greece, Rome, and England on various subjects. The people who sit on positions are considered as antagonistic to the people whom they rule. Here, J.S. Mill starts off by limiting the scope of his essay to civil or social liberty. He writes this he writes that this essay will look at what kind of power society can legitimately exert over the individual. Mill predicts that this question will become increasingly important because some women have entered a more civilized stage of development which presents new conditions under which issues of individual liberty must be addressed. Mill then turns to an overview of the development of the concept of liberty. In ancient Greece, Rome, and England, liberty implied protection against the tyranny of political rulers, and rulers and subjects were often thought to have a necessarily antagonistic relationship. The leader did not govern by the will of his people, and while his power was seen as necessary, It was also considered dangerous. Patriots tried to limit the leader's power in two ways. They gained immunities called political liberties or rights. The leader was thought to have a duty to respect these immunities, and there was a right of rebellion if these rights and liberties were infringed. Second one is constitutional checks developed under which the community or their representatives gained some power of consent over important acts of governance. Like other tyrannies, the tyranny of the majority was at first and is still vulgarly held in dread chiefly as operating through the acts of the public authorities. But reflecting persons received that when society is itself the tyrant, society collectively over the separate individuals who compose it, it means of tyrannizing are not restricted to the acts which it may do by the hands of its political functionaries. Society can and does execute its own mandates. And if it issues wrong mandates instead of right, or any mandates at all in things with which it ought not to meddle, it practices a social tyranny more formidable than many kinds of political oppression, since, though not usually upheld by such extreme penalties, it leaves fewer means of escape, penetrating much more deeply into the details of life and enslaving the soul itself. Protection, therefore, against the tyranny of the magistrate is not enough. There needs protection also against the tyranny of the prevailing opinion and feeling, against the tendency of society to impose, by other means than civil penalties, its own ideas on practices as rules of conduct on those who dissent from them to fetter the development and, if possible, prevent the formation of any individuality not in harmony with its ways and compel all characters to fashion themselves upon the model of its own. There is a limit to the legitimate interference of collective opinion with individual independence, and to find that limit and maintain it against encroachment is as indispensable to a good condition of human affairs as protection against political despotism. So the rulers use their power to the weaker sections of the community. They got such power by inheritance or conquest. Sometimes rulers who ruled as their whims and fancies. They don't think about the weaker sections of this society who are living without any privileges, but the rulers who want to lead there and also rule the state in their only sometimes selfish purposes. As time passed, however, the citizens began to want a limit to be placed on the power of the government in order to achieve their liberty. It involved two steps: obtaining political rights that were safe against all forms of tyranny, implementing the safeguard of community consent in the form of a mandate or body that would guard against an abuse of power. As the time passed over the centuries, we have come to know that the citizens began to want a limit to be placed on the power of government. Who are ruling the country or state, they must have some limit in discharging of their duties. So, in order to achieve such a liberty, so obtaining political rights, especially it was also against all forms of tyranny, is also a very important one. And while implementing their discharging of their duties, the safeguard of community and consent of the community and mandate of the community, that is also very important, that society will also guard the rulers. So let us understood about the important points of this session. So the students will be able to recognize J.S. Mill as a great philosopher. They will be able to define and meaning of liberty. They will be able to recall the Mill's ideas on liberty in the beginning of essay. So in this session, students were able to will be able to understand and recognize after completely comprehending the essay. They can also express their views in their own words about J.S. Mill and his arguments in the beginning of the essay and the definitions of liberty. So let me give a questions as an assignments. Read the essay and summarize the ideas of Mill in the beginning of essay. Define the liberty. Take down the highlighted points of the essay displayed in PPT. Explain them in one phrase. Let me also give you some multiple choice questions to answer. The first one is the essay on liberty was published in. Second one, J.S. Mill was an dash philosopher. There are four choices: American, English, Russian, Italian. Third one is the struggle between authority and liberty was existed in Greece, Rome, and dash. There are four choices: England, Russia, Japan, Spain. Fourth question, the people who sit on positions are considered as dash to the people whom they rule: friendly, democratic, inferiority, antagonistic. Fifth question, the essay can be understood as an attempt to broaden the meaning of. There are four choices: tyranny, power, utility, royalty. Thank you.